Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Italian ebook before it's gone.
Do you know how to discuss past events in Italian? You'll learn how in just a moment. Hi, my name is Felice, and this is 3-Step Italian by ItalianPod101.com. In this lesson, you learn how to talk about past experiences and describe what life used to be like in Italian through a short conversation. Let's look at the dialogue. As you listen, pay attention to how they ask about the topic and how the other person responds. Andiamo a mangiare la cotoletta milanese. Offro io. Grazie! Ti piace la cucina milanese, vero? Sì, la adoro. Quando ero bambino vivevo a Milano e mangiavo spesso la cotoletta. Interessante. Io invece mangiavo molta pasta da bambino. Perché? Perché quando ero bambino abitavo a Bologna. Let's hear it with the English translation. Andiamo a mangiare la cotoletta milanese? Offro io. Let's go eat Milanese cutlet. It's on me. Grazie! Ti piace la cucina milanese, vero? Thanks. You like Milanese cuisine, right? Pay attention to the next paragraph. These sentences follow the key speaking pattern you learn later in this lesson. Sì, l'adoro. Quando ero bambino vivevo a Milano e mangiavo spesso la cotoletta. Yes, I love it. When I was a child, I lived in Milan and often ate cutlet. Interessante! Io invece mangiavo molta pasta da bambino. Interesting. I, on the other hand, used to eat a lot of pasta as a child. Perché? Why? Perché quando ero bambino abitavo a Bologna. Because when I was a child, I lived in Bologna. Let's look at the sentence pattern. Do you remember how the character said, when I was a child, I lived in Milan and often ate cutlet? Quando ero bambino, vivevo a Milano e mangiavo spesso la cotoletta. Quando ero bambino, vivevo a Milano e mangiavo spesso la cotoletta. This sentence follows the pattern here. Quando plus imperfect sentence 1, comma, imperfect sentence 2. When imperfect sentence 1, comma, imperfect sentence 2. The first pattern is used to show a past situation or background action introduced with quando, followed by another action that was also ongoing or habitual in the past. It is especially helpful for setting the scene in storytelling. For example, in the sentence Quando ero bambino vivevo a Milano e mangiavo spesso la cotoletta. When I was a child, I lived in Milan and often ate cutlet. The word quando means when and introduces the time frame. Ero is the first person singular of essere in the imperfetto, meaning I was. Bambino means child, so ero bambino means I was a child. Vivevo is the first person singular of vivere in the imperfetto, meaning I lived. A Milano means in Milan, indicating where the speaker lived. Mangiavo is the first person singular of mangiare in the imperfetto, meaning I used to eat. Spesso means often, describing the frequency of the action. La cotoletta means the cutlet. It's the thing the speaker used to eat. So, the full sentence means, when I was a child, I lived in Milan and often ate cutlet. Io invece mangiavo molta pasta da bambino. I, on the other hand, used to eat a lot of pasta as a child. Io means I, the subject of the sentence. Invece means instead or on the other hand, showing contrast with what was said before. Mangiavo is the first person singular of mangiare in the imperfetto, meaning I used to eat. Molta means a lot or much. Pasta means pasta, the object of the verb mangiavo. Da bambino means as a child. Da is the preposition meaning as in this context, and bambino means child. So the full sentence means, I, on the other hand, used to eat a lot of pasta as a child. This sentence follows the pattern. Da, noun or adjective, plus verb in the imperfect. It shows a role or identity in the past and an habitual action that when we did. Now you know how to use the imperfetto to describe past experiences, repeat actions, and situation in Italian. Now let's look at some speaking examples. Quando ero piccolo, giocavo sempre nel parco. When I was little, I always played in the park. Let's break it down. Quando ero piccolo, meaning when I was little, followed by giocavo, the imperfect tense of the verb giocare, meaning I used to play. Next, sempre nel parco, meaning always in the park. This sentence follows the pattern quando plus imperfect sentence, comma, imperfect sentence, just like our focus line. It sets the scene with a past time frame and shows a repeated or habitual action, which is exactly what the imperfetto tense is used for. Here's another example. Da bambino guardavo I cartoni ogni mattina. As a child, I watched cartoons every morning. Da bambino guardavo I cartoni ogni mattina. As a child, I watched cartoons every morning. Let's try one more. Quando pioveva, leggevo un libro a casa. When it rained, I used to read a book at home. Quando pioveva, leggevo un libro a casa. When it rained, I used to read a book at home. Another one. Da studente prendevo l'autobus ogni giorno. As a student, I took the bus every day. Da studente prendevo l'autobus ogni giorno. As a student, I took the bus every day. One last example. Quando abitavo in Italia, mangiavo spesso la pizza. When I lived in Italy, I often ate pizza. Quando abitavo in Italia, mangiavo spesso la pizza. When I lived in Italy, I often ate pizza. Now you know how to discuss past events in Italian and you can move on to the practice. A presto!